Welcome back to the program, everybody. The name of this program is called It's a Conspiracy, but It Ain't No Theory. My name is Adrian Alice, and I am the American Dream. Also, additionally, I am a singer, songwriter, author, model, musician. A lot of you probably wonder, well, I never heard you sing those songs, and that's because of programs like this. They work relentlessly at trying to silence artists like myself's voices, and so they do this in many different tactics, and those are tactics I enjoy going over on this program. All right, so I'm a singer, songwriter, author, model, musician. I am the author of a 2-book part series, part 1 and part 2 of Lucy's Lair. And Lucy's Lair is a book series reflecting my life as a survivor of rape culture and child sex trafficking. All right, so on this program, I will be discussing today and reviewing my experience with the gang stalking, the organized community harassment campaign, remote gang stalking, cyber torture, no-touch torture, slow kill program, and gas chamber, psychological gaslight chamber. Another one of the things I want to go over on today's program, one of the things I quite enjoy reviewing on this program, is the spiritual warfare component of the gang stalking and the ritual. The ritualistic practice of gang stalking. So that would be things like the black magic, the blood magic, the satanic sacrifices made to bind somebody to a blood contract and basically curse them in the spirit. And before I go any further, I would just like to take a moment of silence for those no longer with us. Rest in peace. All right, so hashtag make murder illegal again. Hashtag make homicide illegal again. Okay, so we're in this together. Hashtag we're in this together. Okay, so like I was saying, the satanic sacrifices made in the spirit to bind somebody to a soul tie and or a soul contract and or a curse. When it comes to conspiracy, a person will always need support for that. So of course it shocks me none the least to see that they are or were indeed in this quote together. A person guilty of doing evil deeds, murder, a person guilty of murder is not a beautiful person. They're not attractive. They're not a sex icon. Okay? That might have been the case in their latter days, but that's not the case today. And so that's why a person overcompensates and has to use murder, rape, conspiracy as a way to self-soothe because they've maxed out on everything else, so nothing else really does it for them. And so a subliminal message is a technique used in marketing and other media to influence people without them being aware of what the messenger is doing. This may involve the use of split-second flashes and or out of context conversation, a parody, an imitation of the style of a particular writer, artist, or genre with deliberate exaggeration for comic effect, also known as a spoof or shitty satire. Hashtag make stalking illegal again. Hashtag make trafficking illegal again. So, we have coming up on today's program some more stalker tactics, along with what you can anticipate going forward, not in the future. This isn't something that's happening in the future. This is something that is happening to you now. So, what you can anticipate from this point on as a TI, as a woman with social currency, or as a person, I say woman because most TIs are women. About 75% of them are women, and that's what it... So, women basically are the scapegoat of society. They always have been, which is why I go as hard as I do when it comes to the story of Jesus, because this was supposedly one of the most horrendous acts of rebellion towards the government. And I'm sorry, but men just simply don't have what it takes, okay? So despite their attempts and their many failures, all which being failures, they don't have what it takes. And so there's no way for me to ever empathize with Jesus because he wasn't a woman. And I can think of, off the top of my head, many other ways a person can suffer other than the ways that Jesus did. Okay? That's just my opinion. My opinions are a form of protected speech. Okay? So on this program, I'm just going to go ahead and overgeneralize and say that every single 100% of TIs are women. If you're a man and you're discussing the fact that women are out here being murdered and trafficked, guess what? You're not man enough. You're not man enough. Okay? You're not an actual TI. All right? And so when a woman is murdered in place of another woman for the purpose of a satanic ritual, it's usually called a military tribunal. Now, it's not a military tribunal by any stretch of the measure, but they will have their target believe that, nonetheless. And so they're out here as we speak with their noise campaigns and their little micro occult aggressions. So what? Nobody can hear you. You're literally drowning from the one who cares. Hashtag Karen. Do they need to shout a little bit louder in the foreign language that they speak? Because that's how much these Americans don't give a fuck. I'm just saying, it's true. These Americans don't even care about themselves, which is why they fit well with warfare. Okay? On the battlefield. Because they don't even care about themselves, much less their wives, much less their kids, much less their families. They use these women for social currency to publicly shame them, knowing damn well the gremlin they have at home is uglier than anything they've ever seen before. And that's on its best day. And that's why it overcompensates the way that it does. And that's why they sit around waiting for their target to fart. Much less, can you imagine when that Bic starts writing? Can you imagine when that Bic starts writing? The world starts changing, of course, as well it should. It's way overdue. These men are disgusting. That's why they're fucking basement dwellers. That's why they're rapists. That's why the world is in the state of emergency the way that it is. Women don't have the physical capacity to overthrow a man. They don't have the physicality to rape a man. Women aren't rapists. All of this aggression is coming from men. These men are responsible, and it is the most embarrassing time in our history to be a man. The most embarrassing time, I will say, in America to be any other man, especially a foreign man. You're just not welcome here because you do not know how to treat white women appropriately. You're just not welcome here. You're not. You're a terrorist rapist, and that's why our nation is in the state that it's in. Because you have continuously and habitually desensitized the general population to hate. They're beautiful, intelligent, strong women. The same women that God has put here on this earth the same spirit guide that God has put here on this earth is getting what? Canceled. Exactly that. All the good that they stand for has been inverted and corrupted. Exactly that. So on today's program, I wanted to go over a lot of things, but primarily I wanted to focus on the TED Talks, kind of where we left off more or less on last week's show. Because this lady on TED Talks is crazy, y'all. Like, when I tried to watch this video, this lady is legit gang stalking TIs. So if you go and you research anything under pop culture on YouTube, you'll see a TED Talks video where they admit that they're stalking, but they can't say that outrightly because that is illegal. And this lady is absolutely evil, the one in the video. I might edit this just to show her evil face one more time. And if you've seen one of them in one video, guess what? You've met them all. They're all in the same age bracket. They're all equally as horrifying to look at. None of them are doing anything for society. They've all maxed out. You know, there's nothing else that they have to contribute. This is it. Gang stalking is the rock bottom. This is all they have left after succeeding and accomplishing the greatest level of success the planet has to offer. Which is the real reason why you see the devastation in our nation. Which is the real reason why we have targeted individuals in this country coming from other countries specifically to target and terrorize American women, not men, using the device to blackmail, spear targets, and to sex trafficking. Just to be clear, dead people cannot be trafficked, okay? They were organ harvested, all right, for their blood, their adrenochrome, using fear of death by collision to keep the spear target in isolation. However, the dead target isn't the one being used sexually and abused sexually. They're already dead. Disinformation agents discredit the target by then saying the target is lying, old, fat, ugly, etc. The disinformation agents or community-based agents employ shaming tactics and subliminal messages to ritualize the shaming, the public shaming process. Example A, quote, "Why is Karen lying?" Example B, quote, "Why is Amy lying?" Fat shaming, of course. Example C, Dementia Joe forgot the reality. Again, you mean the psychological operation? False reality? Yeah, that's what you meant. It's okay, I'm smart enough to understand what you meant, my nigga. So we went over a little bit on the last 3 programs about what gang stalking is. And gang stalking is more or less a campaign of people that have been recruited to hack and fish, spearfish, and wellfish a targeted individual. And 75% of the time, this individual is a white woman because a political rival of the opposing gender somewhere has made it big enough and is jealous that this white woman, this American woman, lives a better lifestyle than the woman that they call wife. Okay? Quite literally. To the T. You can't make this shit up. And because this white woman lives a better life, they then employ community-based agents to harass this woman and to make sure this woman never has an amazing day, a great day, or a beautiful day in their lives. And that is what the program is intended, and that's the real reason why I say the lady in TED Talk is evil. Not just because her face is evil, but because her soul is evil. The energy radiating from within the woman does not imply a greater message. The message is the same as the mask that it wears. That mask being entirely evil. And so remote gang stalking, this woman meant to say in the TED Talks film, this is what she meant to say. These people are being targeted. And when I say people, make no mistake, I mean women. White women. Okay? These white women are being targeted by somebody that quite literally wishes them to be their wife. And abuses them as such. Okay? Doing this, remote gang stalking, the illegal and unauthorized abuses of advanced military-grade weapons that are being used for torture programs. Torture compromises of mind reading, mind control, and central nervous system control, etc. Using this, the harassers can view all the innermost thoughts of the targeted person on a screen as clearly as one reads the newspaper. Okay, so that to me sounds a whole lot like Evolve the MK Ultra. So you don't have a world war. You don't have a revolution. You have something greater than that because it's evolved over time, naturally. All right, so your need for incompetence, your need for an incompetent leader like Joe Biden, your need for this cover only proves you're dealing with incompetence in your cult, okay? The bitch that you have in your cult is highly narcissistic. The bitch that is running game all over you and making every single one of your men and your occult leaders look like trash is the one that is actually guilty of racism and child sex trafficking and women trafficking of women, and straight up murder of these women's children and of these women, period. You're dealing with a highly narcissistic, psychopathic person in your occult. And then as a way to go ahead and process that guilty feeling for having sex with this woman in turn for doing her rivals evil, okay? Now, this is your problem, not mine, because I don't do this. I don't get down like that. I'm not dirty, okay? That's why everybody secretly wants to be me. Because cleanliness is next to godliness, and I have loyalty your money can't buy. All right? So the only reason why you're targeting me is because your queen can't measure up. And there's no way else to put that, quite literally. Your queen, the one that you would all kill for, has hired you to do exactly that, to make sure I torture and suffer to death, which just proves you don't measure up. You don't have what it takes. Evil entities don't have less insecurities. They have more. Their need for toxic supply hints at such a fact. Needing a greater coping mechanism such as murder, rape, torture for hire, revenge for hire, it's a fucking classic projection of your own mental health and your own villainous ways and your own criminality. You know, that's what happens when the bread and butter, so to speak, is a trafficked victim nonetheless themselves. You think they're not going to be jealous of the next up-and-coming actual artist who's really intentionally and spiritually conscious, actually talented? This woman didn't get trafficked for her ass implants. They didn't get famous for having ass implants. They're not the most popular person on the planet because of the fact that their ass is huge and that they're a sex icon. Quite the contrary. And so your cult is struggling, and the so-called queens and your cult are struggling to process the facts. That fact is that they're guilty. They're highly narcissistic, psychotic, and they're fucking homicidal as fuck. Which is the only reason why you feel like a somebody in the first place. The bitch you work for fell off fucking 20 years ago. Whatever sexual favors she's trading you for, she's already traded and cashed in 20 years ago. She's not the it girl anymore. And to my surprise, I'm sitting over here wondering how in the fuck these bitches ever made it in the first place, other than a body. So like I was saying, it is my job here on this program to clown celebrities. Absolutely 110% hands down. I don't desire to be like a celebrity. These celebrities are out here whiling, wishing to be me and my grandmother because they don't have any beauty within them. And so, there's nothing more to it. Okay? You can call yourself queen all you want, but if your grandmother isn't a beauty pageant winner, contestant, and winner chicken dinner, like, you need to go somewhere with all that, sweetheart. Where are you queen at? You're not queen here. You're not even princessing around here. So you need to go somewhere with all of that. Rihanna with her 5 head and fucking Nicki Minaj with her fucking disgusting nose. You need to go somewhere. Go tell Nicki Minaj her nose needs 5 more nose jobs. Go tell Rihanna her forehead needs 10 more fucking 5 jobs. And go tell them both to remove those ass implants. Shit. Now, I know you all heard the gang stalkers come knocking at the queen's door as soon as I said that. Okay, that's why you take my trash out. Alright, that's why you cloning my DNA. Okay? That's why your queen got her panties in a bunch and her nose job too. And just for the solid authority record, from one witch to another, bitch, I don't want your nose, I don't want your teeth, and I don't want your skin, and I don't want your ass. But you'll go to the doctor asking for 2 nose jobs. These ass implant, double nose job having ass Hollywood hoes could fucking never, calling themselves queen. Bitch, you're not even a princess. You got my granny rolling over in the grave. You could never dig, schmig. One more time for the record. All them top Negroes want to smash, though. Would give their firstborn child just to do it. Paying a hefty price just to say they did it.